And Grenadiers charge again, dropping grenades. Not much luck though, and they are forced into a swift retreat. Americans securing the central victory point again. Panzer IV moving in for a flank. Nice move, but not hitting anything with the first shot. Anti-tank gun quickly setting up for a different position. And Panzer IV taking fire from the anti-tank gun. And the Panzer IV missing once more. Not much luck there. Engineers moving in, trying to scorch the medic bunker, but they are taking quite a bit of fire from the second Panzer IV with 7 kills so far. And now opening fire on the house. Good job, but anti-tank gun moving in to try and take up positions on this Panzer IV, but the Panzer IV retreating, apparently suspecting that something is coming, and we are hearing sniper fire once more, clearing out the medics once more. One wonders if they did have a bad experience with medics at one point in their life. And now the anti-tank gun is being cleared out, and we are seeing a defensive barrage being called in right near the medic bunker. Quite interesting. Not doing much damage to the bunker though, but doing quite a bit of damage to the American infantry nearby, forcing them into a retreat. MG42 gunner down, Grenadier down, or was it a Pioneer? No, it was a Pioneer. Now the anti-tank gun is blasting away at the bunker, hoping to clear it out, and my goodness, a sniper is hit by a mine. Goodness gracious, clearing out one sniper, and riflemen run directly under the treads of the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV getting sticky bombed, but that does not stop it from flanking the anti-tank gun. And now Grenadiers joining into the fun. And we are seeing 800 manpower, and there we go, calling in the Pershing. Some heavy American armor to really deal with these Panzer IVs. The Panzer IVs, of course, won't be able to quite deal with this on their own. Second anti-tank gun cleared out, leaving in fact the Pershing left to actually deal with all of this. And Pershing taking direct hits. Panzer IVs moving in, apparently not flanking though, but choosing to engage in from directly. In fact, let's go pause and briefly analyze the situation. The Americans have been pushed back by brave efforts of the 116th Panzer Division, now getting some panzers on the field. But to counter this, a Pershing heavy tank has been called in. The Pershing, of course, will be quite a threat, but at the same time, with all of these Panzer IVs and Panzer IVs, it might find itself overwhelmed, in particular if the Panzer IVs begin to actually flank it, moving about here and shooting in the rear armor, which isn't so thick, and when the Panzer IVs might have a more regular chance of penetrating and doing a bit of damage. In the meanwhile, we are seeing some American infantry, not a lot though, only 3 teams, a sniper and some engineers. A medic station would be nice, but generally I think if the American player could at the same time push rather heavily towards the west, which is currently quite open since Major Hans has focused most of his defenses in the east, he could probably do a bit more damage, and of course force Major Hans to really spread out what defenses he has at the same time, thus increasing the chances for the Pershing and his infantry doing a lot more damage. In fact, let's go return to Hans and let us continue the fight once more. Pershing taking quite a bit of damage already due to those Panzer IVs. The Panzer IV, in fact, was pretty much able to penetrate any armor during the war. It was able to penetrate up to, I think it was 200 to 300 millimeters of armor, and well, it would have practically also been the only weapon to able to penetrate a King Tiger from the front, I suppose. Panzer IVs pulling back for repairs, taking quite a beating in the hands of all that. One with a burning engine, but still quite a threat to the Americans, and they know that, but no, instead he is going straight for the eastern approach. Although it looks like he is recruiting some of those anti-tank guns. What else though, I cannot say. And a third Panzer IV, my goodness. Quite a lot of German armor there, and quite a lot of Panzer IVs. This is in fact a bit rare, you see this many. But it certainly is quite a sight to behold this much lovely German armor. And snipers taking on the Grenadiers. Grenadiers, oh my goodness. Grenadiers taking quite a bit of damage from the Pershing shot, which killed a few Grenadiers. But at the same time, the Pershing though is taking quite a bit of damage from those Panzer IVs. Anti-tank gun setting up to provide covering fire for it against the Panzer IVs if they decide to move in and attack from the rear. Riflemen once more moving in for the central victory point. Panzer IV blasting away. And we are seeing Veterans 2 up for the armor, which will give light machine guns mounted on them. But machine guns for tanks in most cases do absolutely nothing unless they're American, in which case they actually do a bit of damage and suppression. Or if it's Stu 42 or Geschützwagen, those MGs actually do something. But Panzer IV, Panther do absolutely nothing, practically. So keep that in mind. Panzer IV's on the move though, and we are seeing Volksgrenadiers moving towards the east. Shall be interesting to see what the Panzer IVs will be doing, and we are seeing a lot of engineers huddling around the Pershing, doing quite a bit of repairs, since this is currently the central effort of the American fight. And without it, things might in fact look a lot more dire. Panzer IV apparently trying to clear out this anti-tank gun by issuing an attack order on it, but not having much luck in it though. Riflemen engaging these Volksgrenadiers, forcing the Volksgrenadiers back. And looks like a rifleman team was cleared up by a defensive barrage registered artillery, while the sniper just looked on and go, well, that did not work out, let's get out of there. And riflemen coming now under fire from grenadiers. Panzer IV moving in. Anti-tank gun watching this area. Pershing though is ready for a bit of a fight once more. And what is this? Riflemen taking quite a bit of fire. Now the MG42 gunner is joining in as well. Anti-tank gun setting up. Or not, apparently could have been caught out in the open by the Panzer IV. And riflemen under fire, but now sniper and anti-tank gun joins in, prompting the Panzer IV to slowly pull back, lest it be knocked out. And my goodness, what's going on here? We are seeing artillery fire. A light mortar has been requisitioned for the Americans, blasting away. Certainly an awful way to get out the bunker. Of course, it is an effective method as well. Shall be interesting. Of course, the interesting thing to do could also have been just laying down a smoke cover, then charging in with engineers with flamethrowers and the Pershing and some riflemen, and then clearing out everything. But apparently he's using his Pershing way too defensively, apparently just hoping to hold out. Panzer IV heavily damaged, not entirely sure that the right thing to do is trying to hold the defensive, in particular with these forces. He will need a lot more defensive weapons to actually fortify his lines and further anti-tank guns. But really he should be trying to apply some more pressure to the opponent. That's generally what you should always do, and of course that is what Major Hans is doing with his Panzer forces infantry, really keeping the pressure up and not just allowing the American commander to just dig in and have a vacation. Panzer force receiving repairs, receiving armored skirts. Now they have received veterancy 3. Shall certainly be of help and make them more sturdy, in particular against infantry defense weapons. Mortar rounds landing. Grenadiers hanging out nearby, ready to act as support. Always nice to view those panzers in a slightly more level view. Pershing moving about, perhaps opening up for an assault, perhaps not. Anti-tank gun also sneaking about, not entirely sure what the Americans are preparing for. Fresh rifleman team has arrived though, and we are seeing something going on here. A bit of quiet as the 116th Panzer Division is getting ready. The 4th Infantry Division having called on some really heavy armor. Of course, the Americans didn't have Pershings during the war until very late, about the time after the Battle of the Bulge, and they didn't really have a lot of Pershings even then. So there you go. Panzer IV though charging in. Pack moving in as well, some grenadiers with Panzer VI. Not entirely sure why this second Panzer IV is not joining in. And riflemen taking quite a bit of fire from the Panzer IV and the grenadiers. There we go. Rifleman team cleared out. Panzer IV though taking quite a bit of damage. And we are seeing a second German assault from the northwest. Not a bad move. Not a bad move. Certainly going to keep the American attention split up. Still, I'd recommend getting that Panzer IV in the fight. Pershing getting hunted down. Panzer VI and Panzer IV. Second Panzer IV though getting out, heavily damaged. Engine is damaged. And apparently there might have been a slight misclick here as all these troops are being retreated.
Honor and blood.
And they certainly look to be in good condition. Second Panzer IV still not joining in, not entirely sure why. Had he moved it in, he could really have flanked around that Panzer IV, and really, the Pershing I mean, and really applied some more pressure to it. The Pershing though, being quite scorched in the front, having taken quite a bit of firepower there. And infantry now with Veterans 3, which of course gives them 20 to 25% increased health, making them a bit tougher in the fight. And oh dear, this Panzer IV is not looking good. The only thing currently helping it is the gunner and a registered artillery barrage going in, but not hitting a single American infantryman. And a sticky bomb on the Panzer IV. I doubt those, what remains of the armored skirts, will help it. And no, it is blown apart, opening things up for the American riflemen, who have gained Veterans 2 in the process. But they will quickly be intercepted by these pioneers and grenadiers though, and forced into a retreat. And we are seeing a 280mm rocket barrage really opting to blast things into the dirt. Well targeted. My apologies. A well-targeted 280mm rocket barrage can really do quite a lot of damage to anything caught out in it. And the Pershing would certainly be a prime target. German assault moving in, and we are seeing a 30 caliber machine gun setting up there, while in the meanwhile grenadiers are moving in from the west, beginning to clear out the anti-tank gun. Grenades being dropped, and we are seeing a Veterans 3 sniper nearby. Anti-tank gun is cleared out, leaving behind no anti-tank assets for the Americans except sticky bombs, and the Pershing blasting away, but it's taking quite a bit of fire. And now the Panzer IV might be trying to get around it, but no, it stops. Panzer IV taking quite a bit of fire, might have to get out there before it is cleared out. And looks like we might soon be seeing our Panther out from the 116th Panzer Division. Riflemen taking quite a bit of damage, and Panzer IV's pulling out. And looks like that heavy machine gun was cleared out in seconds somehow from that building. And we are seeing a Sherman joining in the fight, ready to support and provide some extra heavy firepower. Will certainly be of help, in particular if the increased gun can be upgraded, giving them increased penetration alongside that Pershing, which will of course make them even more lethal to those Panzer IVs and give them even more of an advantage. But we are seeing the Panzer Panzerkampfwagen 5 coming out ready to support the 116th in their dash towards the American lines, and of course make sure that Operation Lüttich will become a success for the fatherland. M4 Sherman upgraded with a 50 caliber machine gun, moving in without any support. No, thankfully not. Not anti-tank gun being recruited and moving about. A small lull in the fighting. The Americans are still holding the 2 victory points, and things are very surely taking down for the German forces. And we are hearing mortar rounds once more flying. And another grenadier cut down by that sniper. Where is he? Where is the little bastard? There we go. He has 31 kills. That's certainly a good sniper. And Americans moving in for flank, but are getting caught out in the open by the Panzer IV. Panzer IV blasting away with machine guns blazing. And now the Panther joins in the fight. And we are seeing a heavy rocket barrage right on the Sherman. My goodness. And we are seeing just huge plumes of